When you live in a small town, everyone knows where you've been and what you have done. I've been trying to leave this old town since I...
Welcome back. Thanks for joining us. I'm Zeta.
And I'm Kelly, and you're listening to
Two Sides and the Truth.
Now we're catching up again.
Hi.
I can't say I had the most exciting week this week. The closest thing I have to catching up is I don't think we've talked since my son started his senior year. His first day was last Thursday. Was that the first day of school? Wednesday. He started his senior year, and everything's going swimmingly. So that's my update on that. It's my first day for a kid, and I have had a kid starting school for 22 years. I've had a kid in school, so this is my 22nd and final show.
I'm so proud of you.
I'm so excited.
You made it. You didn't
It's a
kill
new
anybody.
stage. This is like a whole new stage of life, I feel like.
Yeah.
I'm hoping. Let's hope. I'm so freaking sick of school. And the other thing was we took the boat out on Sunday. We went Sunday, yeah. We took the boat out Sunday, and it was only Madison, Rick, and I because Zoe had to work, and Zoe just decided at the last minute he didn't want to go. I don't know why. And the heat, even if you're in the water, not everybody wants heat.
Yeah.
So we go to Lake Bardwell, and that's a little lake in Ennis, which is not too far from here. And so we usually will only go, we either plan a whole day and pack for a whole day, or we're going to go for 2 hours or 3 hours and just swim for a minute, whatever, tube. Mm-hmm. So we decided we were going to do that. And we heard Bardwell had reopened. It's actually been closed all summer because of flooding.
Yeah.
In hot-ass Texas. We had a lake too high all the way through August. That's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy.
That doesn't happen. And so we haven't been able to go to Bardwell. And we didn't have the boat because, long story short, the first boat burned up. And so I'm like, okay, let's go to Bardwell. So we go to where we normally go. The marina's closed because it's still flooding at that marina. The other marina is closed because it's still flooding at that marina. And it's not a really big lake. So we looked it up, and there was one marina opened, and it's the free, and one boat ramp. It's not a marina open, and it's the free one. And we've never even gone out from there. It's real small, and the parking's not great. So we just don't usually bother with it. So we were like, okay, we'll go over there. So on the way there, we are behind a boat that is clearly doing the same thing we're doing. They were in front of us trying these other places too. So you kind of have to go down dirt road to get to it. And we get down to it. And right before you get to the gates for it, there's a turn, and this boat took the wrong turn.
Uh-oh.
And I didn't know where I was going. Rick's like, no, you go this way. They just went the wrong way. I thought we were just going to follow them and figure it out. And he was like, no, they just took the wrong turn. So we go, and as soon as we pull in, the guy's like, all right, I'm shutting the gates. There's just not enough parking. And so that boat did not get in.
That sucks.
And so I was like, okay, yay, we made it. So sucks to be them.
Right.
So we're like, okay. So we go to park, and the guy's like, hey, the parking's really bad. The parking's really bad right now. And so normally, and he said that's why he's closing it. He goes, we have way more spots than we have trailers down there because you have to have boat parking. Mm-hmm. He was like, but all these boats don't know how to park, and so they're taking up 2 and 3 spots each. And so we can't, so we can't let everybody in. And so we're like, okay, so we get down there. And I mean, Rick and I boat a lot, and I have never seen a worse case of parking, but they were really weird. They're all very narrow. This is Texas. Everybody's got a big boat and a big truck.
Yeah.
So there was 2 that took up 3 spots. They had to go in zigzag. They were so big that they would have hung out too far, I guess.
Yeah.
So there really wasn't any parking. So normally I park the boat, and what we do is he backs it up, and then he gets in the boat and takes the boat into the water, and then I pull the truck out and I go park. And I was like, I'm not parking like that.
Count me out.
That looked difficult, and it's your truck, and I don't want to fuck it up.
Right.
And so you're parking the truck. He was like, okay, you stay with the boat, I'll park the truck. I'm like, all right. So I'm sitting here watching him as I'm holding the boat to the dock, and he runs up there, and I'm like, I don't know how he's going to park this. I'm truly invested here. I don't know how he's getting in this parking spot. And he's gone a long time, and I can't see him. He's just up the hill, but I can't really see him. And he finally comes down. He was like, I had to take the trailer off the truck and push it manually backwards into the spot, and then I backed my truck up and just rehitched it. And when it's time to leave, I'll just pull straight out. And it was the only way I was getting in the only spot that was left.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. So he comes back down, and they stop him and talk to him for a minute. The boat people do, whatever, the I don't know, dock people. And he has to go back to his truck for something else. And I'm sitting here watching him the whole time. And as he's doing it, somebody else leaves with their boat. And a car comes in by itself without a boat and parks in a boat spot. And I'm like, I cannot believe they just did that. Like, there's no parking. And I was like, do I warn them? Because remember a few years ago, like 2 years ago, we had the same issue, and I got on a woman at Lake Whitney because I was like, bitch, you can't park there. They'll tow you. Like, that's legit. I'm trying to help you and let you know. And she was real rude to me. So
I'm trying to help you out.
Yeah. So I was like, you're okay. Get towed. And anyway, so then this one, they were young. They looked like they were probably in college. And they get out, and the guy immediately like drops a case of Twisted Tea, and it hits the ground and just explodes.
Oh.
And there is like Twisted Tea chasers flying in the air. And I'm kind of laughing at them. But you can tell he kind of got mad. And
Right.
I had just told Madison, I was like, hey, do you think I should go let them know that they're probably going to get towed? Like, I don't want these kids to get towed, you know. So I was like, I'll let them know when they walk by. I'll just be like, hey, you need to go back. They're going to tow you. And also there's no parking. So, but then he snapped at the girl. And it was his car because I saw him park. And I was like, nah, we're going to let them get towed. Fuck you. Let karma be a bitch.
Right?
And there's just boat etiquette, and that's one of the things.
Yeah.
And so then we get on the lake.
Sometimes you got to learn the hard way.
Yeah. And so then we get on the lake, and we have a great day on the lake. I mean, we were only there for like 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever it was. It was so freaking hot. It's like 107 here right now, y'all.
It is ridiculous.
We spent almost the end. We did pull Madison on the tube for about 20 minutes altogether, and she was like, no, I went in the water. I went in the water, not on the water. So we just parked the boat in the middle of the lake. We usually kind of go near the shore. We were in the middle of the lake. We just parked the boat and swam around it and had our life jackets on and stuff. And I sit on mine. And because there was maybe 10 boats on the entire lake because every ramp was closed except that one. And there was probably, I would say there's probably 25 spots. But like I said, everybody was taking 2 to 3. So there was only like 10 boats legit on this lake. And so we had the lake to ourselves. Like, it was awesome.
That sounds awesome.
And that's really my update.
I wish I could have been there.
I'm sorry. I mean, I did tell Rick, I was like, I want to do a day. I don't feel comfortable taking the boat out by myself. I'm not a good backer-upper enough on the trailer. I feel comfortable that I can get it on and off and like lock down and it won't fall off the trailer. I'm not doing that.
Too much responsibility.
I did not feel comfortable with this responsibility level.
Yeah.
But I did tell him, I was like, I'd like to have a day where you took my girls out, you know. So we're going to work that
You
out.
just get to be the cute captain.
Yeah, just sit there and, you know, I don't know. We'll drop you off somewhere to fish if you don't want to stay with
Right.
us, you know, whatever. He won't let us do that either. Anyways, we'll work that out. So that's mine. You got anything? That's it. That's it, y'all. That's all I got.
That's all we got. Well,
I cooked a lot this week. That's what's been happening.
You got more than I do because I literally I feel like so boring because it's just been nothing for me.
Yeah.
But
Oh, I do have something else.
okay, go for it.
Okay, I'm gonna carefully word this. The thing with having a podcast is that I do talk about my personal life a lot, and it gets out there. I don't tell y'all everything.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Y'all
Obviously.
get the tip of the iceberg.
You get
That's
the
literally
cliff notes. Like, it's all
Yeah.
truthful. It's just the cliff notes. I'm not going to tell you when I've had an argument that's a significant argument with my significant other, or that my kid did something stupid, or I did something stupid. Like, I'm going to tell you a lot of my stupids because that's my story to tell. But, you
Yeah.
know, some things maybe not. And there's a certain amount of things you're not going to tell.
Yeah, we do try to keep a lot out because we don't like to out people, and we're not on here just ragging on people.
Yeah,
So
we're real people. And so, you know, I just have to be careful on certain things.
don't get on our bad side though. 'Cause we totally will.
I will, yeah. But there is somebody in someone important to me's life. Okay, somebody important to me has somebody important to them, you know, that doesn't like me so much.
What?
And no real reason, they just don't. And I mean, literally, that's what I was told.
That happens.
And that's fine. I'm not for everybody.
Nope.
And if I was for everybody, I'd be not for myself, probably.
Yeah.
And so, anyways, I just don't have anything to do with this person. The best way to deal with a situation like that is to not.
Yeah.
Even
You go
be-
no contact.
Yeah, it doesn't. No problem for me. So that's the way it's been for years, and it's been great. There's been no problems. And so the other day, somebody else close to me that knows this person as well was like, hey, they're saying that their friends at their very religious church are listening to the podcast and that you are talking negatively about Rick. And I was like, what? First off, if your very religious church is listening to this podcast, they're not that fucking religious.
Well,
I mean, you can be religious, but I'm talking like, you don't cuss, you don't drink, you don't hang, you don't associate with people like me. And there's a lot of religions that I am not considered a bad person. So I'm not putting all religions. Does that make sense?
I'm not saying people who are religious can definitely listen to the podcast. But if you are listening to a podcast just to dig up dirt or just to be a that kind of person, then that's saying a lot about you.
Well, it just wouldn't fit them. It'd be like me listening to a podcast about like retirement plans when I'm 20. Like, it wouldn't make any sense yet. Or maybe I'm listening to, I don't know, a podcast for babies when I'm 80. Like, it just doesn't. I'm not saying all religious people would have a problem with us. What I'm saying is this particular religion would have a problem with us.
Yeah.
And
so that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The only reason that they would listen is because they are trying,
looking for something.
They're trying, that they're not listening just to, I want to listen to this. They're trying to dig.
Right.
They're trying to get information. They're trying to.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, there's no way in hell these people are listening. First off, they wouldn't know who I am. I am removed from these people's lives, so they wouldn't know who I am.
Yeah.
And so that's just not true. It's the person listening.
Yeah.
And
they're just trying to pass it off as somebody
right.
else.
And I just want to be real clear with everybody. I don't talk bad about my significant other. And I will tell you how I did tell my significant other about this conversation because they actually didn't know about it. And I told them, I was like, I was like, Rick, hey, this person is saying I'm talking bad about you on the podcast. Obviously I don't, because it's on the air. You can listen to it.
Yeah.
But B, I really don't have anything negative to say, like, except jokes.
Yes.
And him and I do joke. And so I call him and my kids my favorite assholes because they are my favorite assholes. It doesn't mean I think they're assholes. Like, it means that's a joke.
Yeah.
That's just how I talk.
That's a term of endearment.
For me, it is a term of endearment, I also call myself a bitch. I don't actually think I'm a bitch, y'all. I can be one if I need to, but it doesn't make me one. And if I refer to myself as one, I'm probably joking. And that's called humor. And it's not for everybody. So if you are listening to this right now and you are bothered by my sense of humor and you think that I am not being respectful to the man that I make love to, then turn it the fuck off.
Right.
Turn it the fuck off.
You just go ahead and stop while you're ahead.
Right. But if you are going to continue to listen to it, please like and share.
Right. Thank you for those numbers.
Yeah, and shut the fuck up, because I'm not here for you. And it's that simple, because I'm not going to change. I'm not going to change how I talk. I find nothing wrong with how I talk. I feel very secure in what I discuss, and I feel very secure in my man listening to anything I say. And on this podcast, I'm careful about how I discuss him and my children. And I do joke about them. Like the other day when I was like, these little assholes fucking up my house. It doesn't mean that I'm legit like, these little assholes, I'm like, God bless, I was thinking about what to say the other day, and the only thing that I could think of, and I'm sorry if you get offended real easily, is it is a joke, not a dick. You don't need to write it this hard. So get off my dick, bitch. That's what that means.
Please and thank you.
Please and thank you, or like and follow and share. That's my catching up. What you got?
Well, how am I going to follow that?
I mean, I couldn't even get mad. It's just funny. Like, you can't even get mad about it. It's just funny. But I just thought I'd address it so if they were listening again, they know how I felt.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. So.
Totally understand.
Yeah.
Totally understand.
I would say call me, but you're blocked. What you gonna do?
Right. I don't really have a lot, but I was thinking that God has really been, speaking of religion, no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
God has really been testing me lately, but not like a lot, but like a little bit. Cause I'm a pretty easygoing person. I don't cause trouble.
No, you do not.
I don't make waves. I don't rock the boat.
I do.
I know.
As you just saw.
Me and you are polar opposites.
Yeah. And everyone thinks that you would behave like me.
I look like the bad one.
Yeah, no, it's me.
But I am like that, I act like a cupcake. I look like I could kill you, but I'm just a cupcake.
You are. That's so, what a good description.
And I just am.
Yeah. I look like I'm making you dinner, and I
Right.
probably am, but I might put poison in it.
Yeah, you're it looks like a cupcake would kill you.
True.
And I'm the looks like I would kill you, but I'm a cupcake.
Yeah, isn't that
So,
funny? That's why we get along so
I
well.
know.
Yin and yang.
I don't know. It's very true.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
But so I usually take one day out of the week where I go and just have me time. Like I go shopping or, run errands or whatever. And literally the past 2 times, something has happened to where like I'm like, really? What is going on? So the first time I was going into a store and these ladies were coming out. And like I always, not always, but like I get a lot of attention because of my tattoos, and I understand that, and it comes with the territory. You cover yourself in tattoos, you're gonna get attention from them. So
true.
you just have to accept that, like it's gonna happen.
Right.
But I would say a good like 99% of the time, it is positive. I have people saying that they like my tattoos, or
Right.
just wanting to look at them, or commenting. And
Ask
sometimes,
questions.
and I have the people that just give me the looks, and it just whatever. You just have to put your blinders on. So
I mean, really, in this day and age, I don't know how anyone's shocked by tattoos.
it's so true. But there still are
Yeah.
the rare occasion that you get the
Yeah.
just whatever. But it doesn't bother me because I obviously asked for it.
Right.
So you cover
Accurate.
yourself in tattoos, you're gonna get people looking at them. It just happens. And there are some times where I will catch people looking at me and I'm like, what are they looking at? And then I have to remember, I'm
yeah.
literally covered in art. So they're just looking at everything that's covering my skin. So
Yeah.
you can't take offense to that. You covered yourself in art. People are going to look.
Yeah.
So I'm fine with that. But every now and then I'll get the negative. And it's one of those things that you just have to keep on trucking. You just have to take the good with the bad. But these ladies were coming out and they're having a conversation like with each other as they're walking out, and one of them looks at me and she's like, the first thing that I catch her saying is, "Oh no, that is just too much." And she's like,
And how old
she
are
gets
they?
this like sour look on her face.
Oh my God, I wish I was there.
And I'm just, me just floating like a little butterfly, like like
Cupcake
happy
life.
little cupcake life. But I hear her say that, and she's just scowling at me,
Wait, how old is
looking
she?
me
I'm
up and
trying
down.
to- I'm trying to
She's
picture.
probably like
Fighting age?
late 40s, 50s.
Perfect fighting age.
Yeah, and the other lady that she's with is younger, but she's probably in her like. I'm bad at placing people in
Okay,
age, but
fair.
I'm thinking it was probably her daughter,
Okay.
or older daughter, or something like that. I don't know. So
Or maybe she just looks like an old bitch.
right.
Go ahead,
I don't
continue.
know.
I'm sorry.
And so I'm just like, at first it doesn't register that she's talking about me, but obviously she is. But I'm just not the kind of person. I don't care. Like,
Yeah.
whatever. I'm not going to say anything. And then, but as I walk in and I realize, oh, she's talking about me. Cause like, she even does like, as they're going, cause she's in one of the little hover cars too. Like she's
on a scooter?
yeah, she's on a scooter, and the lady that she's by is walking. And so like she even like stops and like turns to look at me as I'm going inside. And so then I'm like,
I will put a knife in that tire of that scooter.
If this is too much, why are you taking so much time to look at it?
Yeah.
If you don't like it, why are you literally staring me down?
Yeah.
If there was something that I did not like, I wouldn't be giving it so much attention. Like I would just
So
look
what did you
away,
do?
look away. I didn't do anything. I just walked in.
Hey, here's my suggestion for you. And this is for you, not me, because I know what I would do is totally different than what you would do.
know.
But if I was you being a cupcake, I would turn and I would pose like you were posing for a picture and ask her if she'd like to get her camera out.
Right. Yeah. And so
And,
obviously
or I'd
there's
say,
thing-
oh, you trying to get an autograph, ma'am? And act like you're famous. I was
Right.
just like, did you need an autograph? Did you want a picture together? What is it you're asking me?
I know.
I would totally turn it on her.
I know.
If I was you. But if I was me, I'd take a knife out and I would stab her tire. And that fat bitch will have to walk.
Right.
Excuse me, I shouldn't have said that. I'm the chubby one. But I mean, that just makes me angry. People
So
are
of
stupid.
course, the half of me that is the cupcake is just like, just keep on going. Doesn't matter. You're not going to be for everyone. But then there is this other part of me that's like, seriously?
Yeah.
What the hell? Like,
Why does she care?
shut up.
What
Like,
does your skin
why-
how's it affect her?
Exactly. Why are you why are you looking at me like, if you don't like it, just
Because
keep
it made her
going.
insecure.
I know. And so that
Yeah, it has everything to do with her, nothing to do with
And
you.
then I had to like hoosah, and I had to breathe, and I had to like remind myself that I'm totally fine, I'm totally perfect. There's that.
Ooh, or I might have said your husband liked it last night.
See, I knew.
God, I would have had so much fun with that lady.
Another reason why I don't like going places by myself. I need you, Zayda.
I know.
I need you out in the wild.
Oh my
okay?
God! I just, yeah, no.
But that's what
Rick and I were having this conversation the other day, and he was like, "No, you just got to let it go." And I was like, "No, I don't.
No, I really
I
don't.
don't. I don't. You know why I don't? Because I did that in my 20s. You know what? I'm too old, and that's my exact words. I'm not going to get bullied by a young man or an old bitch or anywhere in between." And I was like, period. And I was like, anyone that tries to bully, I'm going to run you the fuck over. I do not. I already did that. I already lived that stage in life. I was a cupcake too one time. Yeah. And that bitch exploded on me. It was horrible. There was cake everywhere.
Exploding cupcake.
Yes. So I have to protect cupcakes like you so someone else doesn't do to you what happened to me.
I don't want to explode that.
Because I've had those looks, and I don't even have to. I mean, I've had people react to me. Oh, look. I mean, and it's just like, what? You don't like me being comfortable with myself? I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know what she was saying I had too much of. Obviously, maybe too much beauty.
That's clearly it.
Because that's the only thing I can think of that I have too
legs,
much of.
too much
That's
legs.
not too much. I don't know. Something.
They're so long.
Sorry about your bad life.
And she's in a scooter, so there's
I'm
that.
sorry.
Yeah, we don't like people. No, I'm
Okay,
kidding.
and so my other thing was, I don't ever really catch Karens out in the wild very, very much, but I caught one the other day.
That wasn't one you just
No,
talked
okay,
about?
obviously that was one.
Sounds like
too.
you caught two.
But I mean yes, that's a Karen. But I just consider the people that have the negative comments about the bodies. Yes, they're a Karen. But to me, they're just in their own category of just like haters.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Well, this one was another old lady, which I'm like, why am I getting these old ladies? Usually,
Old ladies usually love
I
you.
love my older women.
Yeah.
It's, and I just love older people. So
Yeah.
I'm just like, yeah. But oh my gosh. So I was in a parking lot. And I was in one of the one ways. So they have the two ways where you can go down, you can go up.
Yeah.
Okay, I was in a one way. So you only go the
One
way that I'm
way,
going.
yeah.
You're supposed to. I understand not everybody follows the rules.
Right.
But it's not as wide of a lane.
Yeah.
It's really designed for just one car to go down. And I'm at the now end of it. Like there's a crosswalk in front of me, I'm at the end, and I'm in the middle, so there's no room to go around.
Right.
Okay. There's a curb over here. There's cars over here. Well, a handicap spot was open beside me.
Yeah.
Right. Well, not like it was like there were two cars and there was a spot in between them. But obviously, my car's in the way of the handicap spot, and I'm at a stop because there are people walking on the walkway, so I can't go.
Yeah.
And a lady pulls up like she's going in front of me, but she turns like she's gonna come down my way.
Yeah.
And so she's like right in front of my car, catty corner in front of my car. So now I can't turn the other way either. I can't turn right and I can't turn left. There's people on the right, and she is now blocking the left.
Yeah.
So I can't go at
Just
the
put it in
moment.
park. Just
At the
put it in
moment I
park.
can't go. And I'm like, what are you doing? I roll down my window. I'm like, this is a one way. And she's pointing at the handicap spot because that's what she's wanting to go to.
Right.
And I was like, okay, I understand that you're going to have to go around because this is a one way.
Yeah.
And she's like still just pointing at the handicap spot. She won't roll down her window.
Yeah.
And I'm like, ma'am, I'm holding up my finger. It's a one way. I can't go. And she's like now got one tire up on the curb. She's like riding the curb, like trying to get around
I'm getting
me.
out, man. I'm getting out. I'm fucking
like-
up a bitch.
And I'm like,
I'm mad hearing it.
you got to go around. And she shakes her head no at me. And then I was like, it's a one way. And then she does this thing where she puts both of her hands up and it's like she's having a seizure. She like shakes her whole body like, I'm like, what is happening? Like, what is happening right now? Like, she's literally just throwing a hissy fit because I won't get out of the way. Which I'm like, how the hell am I supposed to get out of the way? You're in my way.
Yeah, you're the problem.
And can't go the other way. So finally, like, she's like rides.
She had to jump the curb.
She jumps the curb all the way and like starts pulling in behind me. Like, and I'm like, oh, whatever. I'm whatever.
Whatever. Put my car in park. I don't even care if you're handicapped. I would put my car in park. See, I'm at the stage in life. I'm ready to fight, y'all. I'm ready to fight. No wonder I got the cops calling me twice this summer. I am ready to duke it out.
Well, you need to come with me the next
Ladies,
time I go shopping, because apparently it's been a theme the past couple of weeks, and
maybe that's why I only go to bodies of water. I just get away from people,
right?
Because I might drown someone if there was someone there.
That's so true.
God.
I don't understand it. And so I'm 2 for 0 with these older ladies.
Yeah.
Here recently. So.
Women, stop being bitches.
I don't get it. Y'all are making us all look bad. Please stop. Don't do that.
Yeah, don't be that.
Don't
girl.
comment on other people's bodies and follow the traffic signals.
Or we're throwing hands.
Hey, Zeta, you know what time it is?
What time is it, Kelly?
It's time to pop the top
on the topic of the day.
Our topic of the day for this week is what I have labeled the female experience. Now, this is a very broad umbrella that can cover a lot of things. But I have to say, what first got me started on it is my realization to how little I have educated myself over my life on what it is to be a woman. Because there's a lot. There's a lot that women go through that if you aren't educated on it, if you aren't told about it, you really are just like thrown into the deep end of a pool and like, good luck. You don't even get a floaty. Like, I hope you know how to swim. Yeah. But if you don't know how to swim, you're pretty much fucked. Okay,
you're gonna die.
You are going to die, literally. And so, and one of the things was because I've never really tracked my cycle. I never have, because it's been so crazy most of my life. Like, and I went through a period where I didn't have a period for a long time, and then I got it back, and then it would be like literally all over the place. Like, it's been so I never even really tried. But I've gotten to the point where I have been pretty regular, and so I was like, I really want to start tracking it to like see like what it is like, and like how where it lands on like
they have those apps where.
And that's one of the things that I started doing. I downloaded one that I thought was like really cute, because it syncs you up with the moon, and then it also like goes into like, you know, I know I'm not necessarily like, I know a lot of that like can go under like, you know, witchcraft and stuff like that, which I'm not. I don't dabble in witchcraft or anything like that. But I am very just like, I love the moon. I love outer space. I love I love constellations.
Kind of,
I do. I love it. And I love, you know, signs and like everything like that. Now, I don't go under a lot of like, you know, all of that. I don't really read into like horoscopes or anything like that. But I just think it's interesting.
Yeah.
Just like Greek mythology. I freaking love Greek mythology. You know, I love all that stuff. So I found this one app. It's called Stardust, if anybody just wants to look it up. And so it links you to what it like your the moon phase and like what everything like that. So you like put in, you know, when your last period was, and then it like tracks you and it lets you know, okay, when your next one is going to fall, and does all that. And then it goes through like different things and teaches you about the different phases. Well, I've always known that there are different phases, but I've never really researched them. Like, I know that there are 4 different phases that a woman goes through every single month that has to do with her cycle. But I've never really researched it or looked into it or anything like that. And I thought about it for a minute. I was like, why haven't I? Like, I'm literally a female.
My body, yeah.
I am a woman. My body goes through this literally every single month. Why wouldn't I have educated myself more on what happens, the different changes, the different, you know, chemical changes and how they affect you and everything like that? That's smart information to know. It is your body. Why wouldn't I want to know more about the way that my body works.
Well, and it's easier to catch things when you're tracking things. It's easier to catch things that get off track.
Yeah.
So sometimes that's a sign you need to get things checked out and
Yeah.
make sure everything's okay. So that's another benefit of
Yeah.
it. I tracked until I started menopause, and then I stopped because
Mm-hmm.
it made no sense anymore. It just comes when it comes, and it leaves when it leaves. And
Right.
it's heavy when it's heavy, and it's not when it's not. And you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, so...
But yeah, so do you know the 4 cycles off the top of your head? Did you write those down? I wouldn't be able to remember.
So there are, let me just open this up so it makes it easier, the app. And one of the things I thought was really cool about this is that it tells you like what, obviously it tells you where you're at. And so the moon phases, it shows you all your different moon phases. And because, the moon is in a different phase every single day, basically. It moves a little bit. So it tells you, like, there's one phase that's called the luteal phase, which is right before you start your period. And why wouldn't this let me go? And then there's one phase that's called, ovulation, obviously. One that's called the follicular phase, and then you have your period. So, and you are literally, your body and all of the things, like the estrogen and the progesterone and the testosterone and the LH and the FSH, everything in your body changes literally every single day. And as you're going through the phases, and you have your ups and your downs, like crazy, okay? But I never really knew any of this. I mean, I knew that happened, but I didn't really understand it. I didn't know what caused it, and I didn't know what all of the effects and stuff were. So it's really interesting to educate yourself more on what is going on. And it kind of makes me feel like I have not that I have any power over it and I can't control it, but knowing it and understanding it kind of gives you that sense of control and a sense of understanding. So it's really cool.
You know how I can tell now when I'm about to start my period? Because I'm menopausal, and so it's weird. There's 2 signs, which can be true also for just having a regular period, I guess. But the first one could be. But my nipples get really sensitive, like horribly, like they hurt. Like you don't touch them, don't go near them. I'm talking, I don't want to hit my arm on them for about a day. The other one, which is a weird one, and this is new since I started menopause, but the day before I start, I want to have sex. Like that's how I know my sex drive increases dramatically.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And it's so weird. Like this was not the case prior to menopause, but now it is like me in my peak of wanting to do that is going to be the day before. And I never know when I'm starting. So I'm like, oh wait. I'll even think to myself, this is weird.
I'm totally weird.
We just had sex this morning. Why don't I want it again the same day? I'm old. This is weird. But no, I do because, my hormone levels are all crazy, whatever the case is. But like Rick the other day, I was like, I'm glad you're back. Come on. He's like, it's like lunch. I'm like, yep, let's go. And
get after it.
But like, it's my hormones.
Yeah.
It's my hormones, and there's something in them. And my fear is when menopause is done that I'll lose that hormone because I like that hormone.
That's pretty nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna enjoy it while I got it. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think that's funny. I think that's a very good point on getting to know your body and going through your period because, like I said, you're gonna find things that are problems, but also you're gonna also be able to conquer problems. So if you're getting bloated, you're gonna know I need to start taking this water weight pill to help me not feel uncomfortable and make me feel better. And I need to be prepared and buy what I need to buy. Or plan this trip around it. And that's when I started tracking it. Was
very helpful in that.
So I could plan things, because that sucks.
But I just thought it was so funny. I was like, why? I'm literally 35 years old.
Right.
And I'm just now getting to so, and a lot of that too is self-care. Like,
I was probably 38 before I felt like an adult. I'm not kidding. I had 4 kids.
I'm getting there.
I had 4 kids though. You would think I can remember thinking, when do I start feeling like a grown up? When does this happen? When do I?
Yeah, when is it supposed to hit you?
Some days it's still weird. Some days I'm like, dang, we can't call my mom and like, Mom, what's up with this? It's crazy. And I think that's one of the important things too about having. Like Rick for Father's Day, Madison got him this really cool book that was like asking your dad. We talked about it, asking your dad questions about him and his life. And I had bought it for my mom, and she died before she could complete it. And this kind of goes to that because these are things you can also ask your mom about yourself and ask your mom about her life because you have to ask now. You can't wait until it's a problem for you. So if you have questions, you want to ask them now. And so, because I lost my mom before I realized some of these questions I need to ask. So I never asked her about menopause. It never occurred to me that she wouldn't be here when I hit menopause.
Yeah.
And so I never thought to ask her about it. And I wish I had, because this thing is a bitch.
use some insight.
I could lose a little insight is what I'm saying.
Yeah, and so also another thing I wanted to talk about. So I saw this reel that was these two girls, and they were talking to their mom, and their mom started recording because one of them had said that was saying that they wanted to be boys, and she was like, why do you want to be boys? She's like, because it would just be better to be a boy. And she was like, okay, but why do you think that? And she was like, and the other girl was like, because when we get older, we're gonna have to bleed from our vaginas, and we're just really worried about that. And it was the cutest thing. But then some of the comments were saying that they're so young, why do they know that that's going to happen already? And some other women were like, well, first of all, they probably don't give their mother any kind of personal space, so they probably went to the bathroom with her and wanted to know why she was bleeding, and so she had to explain to them.
It is a natural thing, and why is it a stigma? Why is having a period a stigma? That because you have periods is how you can give life.
Yeah.
Like, I never understood the stigma of periods. And I mean, when I was younger, I had it. I was real careful. Oh, don't talk about it. Don't talk about it. You know what I mean? But I don't think that's healthy. I think you should be able to have those conversations.
Yes, because you never know when little girls are going to start.
Right.
So, and there are so many people I've known people who had no idea that periods even happened until it happened to them.
My mom
and
was
then
that's what happened to
they
her.
thought that they were dying. And like, why am I bleeding? Am I about to die? Like, think about how stressful that can be. And like, it's a stressful situation anyways, but to not even know that it's coming and to like, that's horrible. Like, I would rather a girl be educated than be completely unaware of what's going to happen to her body. Like,
Well, that's what happened to my mom, and she thought she was dying, and she did not feel comfortable telling anyone. So for days, she thought she was dying for days, and
and so she was just going to die.
She was just going to die.
Like, she didn't want to bother anybody about telling them.
And then, I don't know if it was her sister or her mom, but somebody saw blood and was like, did you start your period? And she was like, what's a period?
See, I can't imagine that.
Yeah.
Like, that has to be so traumatic.
Yeah. And on top of that, I feel like, and it's kind of on that subject and kind of not, but I feel like teaching girls about those kind of things and not making it taboo, it also helps girls protect themselves against sexual predators.
Yeah.
Because when you teach them to be ashamed of their body and to be ashamed of their vagina, and it's shh, don't talk about it, or you make up silly little words, that's your cha-cha, and that's your, you know what I mean?
Your hoo-ha.
Yeah. They need to be able to discuss these things with their parents. And if you should be able to talk to anybody about your personal parts and be comfortable, it should be your mom and your dad, particularly your mom if you're a girl, I think. But, sometimes that dynamic is different. And I had read a book years and years ago, and it was about how important it was to teach the correct names for your body parts, so that someone can't manipulate you, because it's easy to do that. And so, and to have conversation with the kids about their body parts and about the truth.
Yeah.
And I raised my kids that way, and they never called anything other than a vagina or a penis. It's a vagina and a penis, and those are breasts.
They need to know exactly what they're called.
Yes, and
exactly what's going to happen with
and
them.
not be embarrassed by it, and not be ashamed of it, because there is nothing shameful about having a period.
I know, there really isn't. Yeah. Like, if you're a woman,
what are you supposed to do?
It's going to happen.
Yeah,
and every woman goes through it. So to feel like you can't communicate or ask for help or get information from people, like, it just boggles my mind.
Cultures, or there were cultures, I don't know if they still exist, but I know of one. I'm not going to name what culture it is, but there is a culture that it used to be that when a girl was on her period, she was shunned from like the village until it ended, and then she could come back.
Yep.
Like, go sleep in the woods because you're bleeding everywhere.
Yeah,
okay, that's a great idea.
Yeah, and you're unclean, and people won't touch you, and that happens in religion still today.
Yeah, I saw a TikTok, and it was a woman about my age, and she looked like a mom. She could have been me. And she was a comedian. She was actually doing a stand-up thing. And she was like, yeah. And she's talking about with her husband or boyfriend or whatever. And she was like, he ate her out. And she didn't say it in a dirty way, but that's basically what happened. He ate her out. And then afterwards, he was like, there are some people that don't have any hair down there. And, you could do that. And she was like, why would I do that? And he was like, well, because, most women do that. And she was like, why would I do that? Why do I care what most women do? It's my vagina. I can do whatever I want to. If you don't like it, don't eat it. And so then I go to the comment section, and it was exactly what I thought. Exactly. It was a good comment
Oh, okay,
section.
that's good.
Because there were a few people that were like, disgusting, da da da. But the majority of it were people saying, it's meant to, hair is actually there to protect your vagina. That's the purpose of the hair. Yeah. But also, and I think if a woman wants to do it for herself, more power to you. If that's what you want to do and that's how you feel comfortable, I think that's awesome. I think women should be able to do whatever they want to with their vagina, okay? But I think it's weird when men want it completely bald. I find something weird about that.
I do too.
And I do. And years and years and years ago, I dated somebody that made a comment like before we had ever, we had never slept together. And he made a comment about it, kind of like that. And I was like, wait, bald, like all of it's bald. He was like, yeah, that's what all, and this is, years and years ago. And I was like, why do you like that? Like, that's what little girls look like. Like, I don't get that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand.
That you want a prepubescent
like
vagina.
That's the only kind
That's
of
what you want is a prepubescent
vagina. Yeah, and I think that's weird. Now, I don't think it's weird if women want it because I could see how it feels better. I mean, I've
but
had
if that's
both.
the only thing you like,
right? I've done all kinds of things down there to it, and all stages of it in my life. But it's what I wanted for me. It had nothing to do with what somebody else wanted.
Yeah, preach, sister. Preach.
I'm just saying, except for my very first child support check that took 3 years to get. Yes, I did get myself waxed down there with that check because I told him I would do that. It took so long to get it.
You had to follow through.
I was like, once I do get this, now that I've gone 3 years without a dime, I'm going to make sure it goes to waxing my vagina. So you're welcome. And I did. And it's 15 years. I'm still talking about how great that was. Me and that lady got real close.
That also led me into it's another thing of like wanting to get more in touch with myself on a deeper level. Because we've talked about this before, as people, you're constantly changing and growing and evolving. And thinking about the fact that I never really educated myself or tracked my cycle, I'm like, there's still so much more to come as well. Like when you're a woman, there's so many different phases that your body goes through. And I want to be more educated on my own body and the things that are going to happen, what could happen, what are the things that I could be doing for myself to better myself, make myself more healthy, and just prepare myself for the things that are going to come. Because, unless you have somebody that's helping to educate you, you have no idea what's going to happen. You have no idea what you're going to go through. It's one of the reasons that I love having you is because I've learned so much on what can happen with menopause that I never would have thought about.
I'm here to educate on menopause.
I'm glad to be educated, also a little bit scared because obviously, women's bodies are crazy.
Yeah. I think it's good to ask your friends, but I also think as a mom, we need to be proactive in talking to our children, our daughters, about things too, because we don't. I think as a mom, I forget sometimes she doesn't know things, especially when they get older. Like my mom, I get where she never thought to address menopause with me because, no one addressed it with her, I'm sure. I mean, if they didn't tell her about her period. But, there's other things. It's not just about your body. It's just about being a woman. So, like, the example that I think of is when you get dressed. Someone at some point taught me to wear nude under white instead of white under white.
Right.
And that sounds really simple.
Yeah. You wouldn't think about it, but
No.
you'd want it to just disappear and not stand out.
And you need, and so white under white, it makes sense. You're going to think, I'm going to wear white under white. but then you put it on and you can see your panty and bra straight through with the white on white, whereas if you wear nude, you can't.
Yep.
Same with black. Nude is the best thing. That's just a girl tip.
Yeah.
Like, that's just a good girl tip. And the other thing would be about bras. How a bra's supposed to fit. I mean, I worked in a lingerie store for years, and so I was a professional bra fitter, and I taught people how to fit bras. So many women don't know how to fit their bra properly.
And a good fitting bra is night and day, man.
Makes your clothes fit better, makes you feel better.
Yeah.
It just
takes stress off of your shoulders and your back.
Yeah, and it makes a huge bit of difference. And also, different bras serve different purposes. So you're going to have your sports bra for obvious reasons, to hold everything in so you can run or whatever. But you're going to have a T-shirt bra if you're wearing a T-shirt, so you don't have the weird lace things showing, or if you don't want your nipples showing, or whatever the case is. And you're going to have a sleeping bra. You're going to have a nursing bra. Like, there's bando. There's different things that exist, and that is important to teach your daughter or other women. And like, if you have a girlfriend, and every time you go out, her bra's not right, or she's complaining, and you have this knowledge, it's okay to be like, hey, let me tell you what works for me. I love this. This fits great. This works great. Or, I hate this. This sucks. Let me tell you what else, though, what does
Don't
work.
buy this.
Right. And I just think that's part of you getting to know yourself, and you, figuring out that you need to know more is, asking other women.
Yep.
It might not be in a book, and it might not be on the internet. It might be that you just need to talk to a friend or your mom or whoever the case is. I just think it's good to spread the wealth of knowledge that
really
we all
is.
have.
Yes. We all need help going through this female experience.
Yeah, and to be honest with each other, because I think a lot of times women are so embarrassed by their body, or by their choices,
Right.
or insecurities, and that they don't feel comfortable admitting they have faults to other people, and they're tearing themselves up about these faults. And it might be something fixable, really easily fixable, if somebody said, "Hey, you know what works for me? This works for me. This is what I had to try." And like, whenever I was pregnant, I could not find a deodorant that worked. I had never dealt with underarm, like a smell where like deodorant didn't handle the situation. I had never dealt with that until I was pregnant, and my hormones were freaking out of whack, and no deodorant was good enough. And so my next door neighbor and I were pregnant at the same time, and I wasn't even really good friends with her. Like, our kids played together, but we were friendly. But I'm a little louder, cussier, but she's a nice lady. And so this is years ago. Like, I'm pregnant with Zoe, so 28 years ago. And so I told her, I said, I swear, because Zoe's born in July, so it's summer pregnancy. And I said, swear I cannot find a deodorant that works. I have bought so many deodorants. And it wasn't that it smelled, it just didn't feel fresh,
Yeah.
And she goes, oh, I know, me either, so I bought men's. Duh. That never occurred to me. Duh. And so every pregnancy I wore men's deodorant because I needed it during that. And that was just my next door neighbor giving me this little tiny tip that changed, 4 pregnancies for me every day, getting home and being uncomfortable and, being at work, and I could see a sweat ring, and I'd never had a sweat ring before.
And how rude that men's deodorant works better than women's.
I know.
That's another bone I just have to pick with the industry.
Yeah, I know. It was part of the pink tax.
I tell you what, man.
They're like, we're trying to make it pretty.
We're just going to give you something that smells flowery,
Yes.
but does not work at all.
Yeah, and might give you cancer.
Right.
I mean,
Just a little cherry on top there.
yeah, why not do that? Why not do that?
So true.
I thought about something which goes back to what you were talking about earlier about the body hair and stuff. It just hit me, this memory did. But I had this friend that dated this guy years ago, and he did not like women shaving. He was kind of a hippie, and he was just kind of anti-shaving.
Oh,
And I mean entire body.
Like no
Armpits. Yeah. Dude,
Interesting.
He thought that, well, she liked shaving. And so, and so they would argue about it. And he wasn't really, not a true argument. He wasn't like telling her, you have to shave. He was just like, girl, I just kind of like it.
Oh, come on.
I kind of like it. Like, that's just my thing.
It would kind of be like a woman who wants their man to grow a beard and
Right,
he won't grow a
yeah.
beard. And he just like shaves his beard off. Like,
Yeah.
why did you do that?
And so she was like, I don't like hair under my arms. It's itchy, and I don't like it on my legs. It doesn't make my clothes look as good to me. I don't like it. I don't care if you like it or not. I don't like it, and they would go back and forth and back. And eventually they made a joke about it, but they did have to have like a coming to Jesus conversation about it, because she was like, listen, you're making me feel self-conscious, like you're not attracted to me.
Right.
And I'm not going to change me because you have a fetish, dude. Like,
Yeah.
it's not going to happen. And finally he realized, oh, okay, yeah, that's a valid point. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm sorry, my bad. And I always think about that because I thought that's role reversal.
Yeah. Well, everybody's different.
Yeah,
So.
everybody is different. Everybody is different. But I mean, it's a good thing. What else you got?
Oh, so getting in touch with myself on a deeper level. We're talking about how, you're always changing and growing. And so I've thought to myself recently that I really want to, as I'm learning more about what it is to be a woman, the different things that happen, educating myself more. I also am wanting to spend more time in figuring out the things that bring me pleasure and the things that make me happy. And because it's going to change. Like the all of the things that I like or that I liked when I was younger, I might still like those things. Maybe they don't serve me as much as they used to, though. Maybe I have new ones, and maybe I would like, because your taste buds are always changing. So I've learned that I like different foods that I did not like, when I was younger. So exploring things and opening doors that I didn't have open before because I didn't like them at a certain time. Well, I might have changed. What I like could have changed and evolved. And so spending more time in figuring out what things I do enjoy, like things I enjoy doing, what I would like to wear, what I would like to even smell like what scent do I want? What smell would make me feel good?
Right.
And things I want to listen to, what I want to eat, what I want to drink, figuring out things that really make me happy and getting to know myself on a deeper level.
Well, and not pigeonholing yourself, because I think a lot of times once we think we've established who we are, our look, you might say, how you dress, how you fix your hair, or whatever, and then some people can't deviate from that because they think that's what people expect of them.
Yep.
So it's kind of like somebody that's dressed kind of rock and roll forever, and then suddenly they got boots on. That's okay. Mm-hmm. And some people can't handle that.
That's very true.
And so then it makes some people feel pigeonholed, like they don't want to deal with people not being able to handle that. Mm-hmm. And I do think that's more of a younger person thing. But it can be an older person thing, too. You could be going through a midlife crisis. It's like the midlife crisis dad that suddenly is like trying to dress cool, whatever the case. He can dress cool if he wants to. Like, what's wrong with him trying new things? As long as it's not new women,
Right.
then it's not a problem. But it goes for women, too. And, I saw a thing recently where a woman that was, saying that a Gen Zer said to her, when are you going to start dressing like your age? Like, why is your generation why are y'all shopping in the same department as us? Like, and so the woman was like, why are we still shopping in the same department as these 20-year-old women? Well, why can't you?
Exactly. I didn't see them checking an ID at the door.
Why can't, you can shop any part of that store you want to. Right. Men's, women's, anywhere you want. If you can fit in children's, put your damn self in some children's clothes if you want to. It's cheaper. I actually have a friend that used to do that. She was so tiny.
Right.
But you can dress whatever way you want to dress. And I just thought, and this woman that was discussing it was kind of like sad about it. Like, why am I still dressed? And I was like, why can't you dress like that?
Nuh-uh. Don't put that in your head.
No, do not. Do not.
So that's the woman, that goes along with the woman experience. And you don't, unless you get to a point and you have people around you who are going to tell you, there is absolutely no reason that you can't wear that.
Right.
You can't just listen to one person. Like, you don't get that narrative in your head that you have to fit inside of a certain box once you tick a certain age off. Like, oh, I'm in this age group now, so I have to start doing this. No, you do not.
Or I'm tall, so I have to wear flats.
Yeah.
You and I both dealt with that in our life.
Yeah, I tell you what, there have been men that have not been able to deal with the fact that I am taller than them when I put on heels.
Right.
And I'm like, well,
I guess this
sorry.
ain't gonna work out.
You're not tall enough to ride this ride then.
I'm sorry.
Because these heels are not coming off even when we get in the bed, okay? So you're going to have to make up your mind.
Yeah.
But that's true. You can't live your life based on other people's thoughts or other people's insecurities or what other people think that you should do. Like, you have to be able to be comfortable enough in your own skin and figure out what's going to make you happy, and then that's what you need to do.
And not worry about other people. That's easier said than done, obviously.
Yes.
But I do think the best way to do it is
Still
to
struggling.
surround yourself with other women that will hype you up.
Yep.
And I think that a lot of times, a lot of women that have a harder time doing that are the women that don't have supportive women, or never have had supportive women, or that maybe some people's moms are bitches. and I'm not trying to be mean, but sometimes the only women you have had have not been women's women. And, you know, I mean,
But I really think that it's because that's a new thing. It is a very new thing for women to like be supportive of other women,
Right.
because it's been so long that women have been compared, and we've been placed against each
Pit
other.
against each other.
And then also just you've grown up with, you know, these voices that have been put into your head of what's not good enough with you or what you need to do to
Right.
change yourself. And so a lot of people don't have the best self-esteem because that's not what they were not raised in an environment that nurtured that.
Right.
And so there's a lot of the generation and things that we have to put up with in our own head that have made us this way.
Right.
And we have obviously when you're talking about the older crowd, and the older crowd very much so were raised more conservative, or they don't like the tattoos, they don't like the loud music, they don't like the crop t-shirts, they don't like people showing their skin, you look like a hussy. Like, I've gotten all of that before. But you cannot, that's not just because that was the way that people talk to you, and then you harbor that, and so that's the way you start seeing the younger crowd, and so you're giving it to them, and it's like one of those generational curses.
Yeah.
And I just really don't think that women supporting women, that has been a generational curse. There hasn't been the supportive women group. And so now that is something that women are trying to do, and they're trying to be inclusive, and they're trying to, you know, you don't talk about people's bodies, you don't put people down, you're not going to comment on somebody's appearance unless you're telling them, hey, you look good, I love that outfit. If you don't love the outfit, then don't say anything.
Right. Keep your mouth shut.
You don't need to be looking at somebody like, oh my gosh, what does she think that she's wearing? She's thinking she's wearing what's making her feel awesome, and that's the only thing that should matter. If you don't like the fact that you can see her belly button, don't look at her belly button.
Look somewhere else.
If you don't like the fact that somebody is nipping, then don't look at their chest.
Yeah.
Look at their eyes. Look at their face when you're talking to them. Don't look at my boobs.
Yeah.
Okay?
I'm so sorry
Or
I got cold in front of you.
If you want to look down here,
yeah.
then you're going to have to put up with it.
Right.
Okay? If you want to look at the tattoos that are on my skin, you're going to have to put up with them.
Right.
All right?
I'm laughing because it's so funny because now people get shocked by you. Not even that much, really. Now people are used to it. When I got my belly button pierced, I was 18, and so it was 1993. And back then, only people that got their belly button pierced were strippers, I was told. But I had never been to a strip club, so I didn't know that.
I didn't know they had
And I didn't know anybody with their belly pierced. I did not know one person with their belly pierced when I got mine. And so I just, I was a little alternative girl. So I went to Deep Ellum. There was one shop in all of Dallas that did it, one shop. And so I had to make an appointment because that's how rare they did it. And I got my belly button pierced. And I went to Collin Creek Mall. And for the first 2 weeks, I could not touch it with anything. It was really sensitive.
Oh, yeah.
And so I went to Collin Creek Mall in Plano, and I had on not even a belly shirt. I was just wearing something that didn't hit it directly, but I wasn't trying to fully expose it either. I just was not wanting to hit it, And I guess I turned or something, and this lady saw it and literally about fell over. And I was with my ex-husband, and he was like, that woman almost tripped when she saw your stomach. She literally almost, and I was looking good, man. I was in my prime. And I was like, that's funny. But so we walked to the mall, and I'm telling you, to see it, you had to look for it. So I had maybe 2 inches of skin showing around my waist, and you might see a glimmer of it, I guess. And I maybe got stopped 6 times. Is that real? Did you do that? Did it hurt? Why did you do that? Why would you do that? Da, 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 da. Mm-hmm. And now you see no one blinks an eye.
Yeah, not at all.
And so that's just it. These things we freak out about. It's like when girls couldn't wear pants to school.
Yeah.
And that was controversial.
Yeah.
You couldn't wear pants to school. Come on. And
you still can't show your shoulders.
Right. I know.
You still can't wear any a spaghetti strap or anything like that.
Well, my son was talking about they had the first week of school thing, and all the kids went to the auditorium for the high school, and they had a conversation about some dress code changes and, just discussing things. Let's not make mistakes. It's the first week of school. Yeah. This is what you need to do. Mm-hmm. And so they went over the dress code. They went over all these rules. Well, Zoll is getting pissed because he goes, they had 2 rules for boys, 2 rules. They had 12 for girls. And he was like, and if girls wear a skirt, Mom, they have to put their hands down to their side, and it can't be longer than their fingers. Do you know how long that is, Mom? That
it can't be shorter than that.
I mean, shorter than their fingers. It seems like that'd be hard to find.
And
I was like, it is.
It is.
And you can tell a woman raised you. But also, I told him, I said, in my day and age, when I was in high school, we not only had to do that, but we had to get on the floor on our knees. And tell me how inappropriate this is.
I know.
You know where I'm going with it.
Oh, yeah.
We have Sunday in the studio / bedroom, our friend. And we had to get on our knees, put our hands to our side, and lean back. And if it was shorter, leaning back on your knees.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
you would have a male teacher or principal and ask you to come to a private room with him and get on your knees to see if your skirt was too short.
That is, I just can't. It boggles my mind.
This was in the 90s. I graduated in 93.
No.
This was not 1942.
Yeah, I remember. I mean, I still, and that's what I'm talking about. Things that get freaking just hammered like into your brain about like going to church. And I'm not saying that this happened to me, but it was something that I was exposed to, and so it got seared into my brain. And when talking about getting on your knees, you had to get on your knees, and whatever skirt or dress you had to touch the floor. Like, you had to get on your knees and your skirt had to touch the floor.
Right.
And if it did not, that was too short. You could not wear it.
And I'm guessing you never saw a boy on his knees.
No. And that's one thing. The woman body is policed so heavily. It is ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's no wonder that girls have
enough
such
hair.
a crazy...
Do you not have hair? Are your boobs big enough? Does your vagina smell right?
But they can't be too big.
Are you on your period? Yeah. I mean, like...
It's ridiculous. I know.
And that's how you end up turning from a cupcake into somebody that will stab you.
Tell you, a murderous cupcake.
Now, I'm like a sheet cake at this point. Okay? I'm going to kill you. Inside that sheet cake, I have things to choke on. That's where I am
razor
in my-
blades in the cupcake.
Yeah. This is what happens because people have tried to police me my whole life. And just like I said earlier to Rick, there's been 2 or 3 situations this week where I felt like people were trying to bully me. They were trying to make me, they were thinking things of me in rude ways, like we discussed earlier, or that they were putting their perception of what I should be on my plate. Mm-hmm. And get your shit off my fucking plate.
Right.
Okay? You worry about your plate.
Right.
Don't give me your plate. I don't want it. I
don't want nothing on your plate.
Okay? And that's what I have to always say to Rick is you don't understand it because no one does it to you.
Mm-hmm. You're a man.
You're a man. No one ever does it to you.
You can wear what you want to wear. You can do what you want to do.
No one's going to question you.
No.
And like Madison, his daughter, she wasn't raised with a mom. I mean, her mom's there, and they don't have they don't really, she didn't raise her, she didn't spend a lot of time with her at all. But her grandma was present in her life, but that's a grandma, and that's a different situation than a mom. And because of the age difference even. And so there's a lot of wisdom I can give Madison that I don't feel like anyone's really given her yet. Not on purpose, whatever the case is. So we have such great conversations. And I feel like I get to have all these conversations with her that I have with my daughters. But my daughters got it their whole lives. So when I have these conversations with my daughters, it's like whatever mom's just telling me, another mom thing. Whereas her, she eats it up.
Yeah. It's like a wealth of knowledge that
she loves
she's
it.
never gotten to dabble into.
No, yeah. And she'll come over and she'll be like, I need to talk to you right now. What do you think? And it can be anything. It can be about anything. It can be about your body, your clothes. Do you like this purse? Politics, religion, whatever. She will come to me and be like, I need to know what you think. And that's what she'll say. I don't care what he thinks. I want to know what you think. Mm-hmm. Or she'll tell Rick, I need you to leave the room. I want to have this. And it won't be about something embarrassing. She just doesn't want his opinion in the mix.
Yeah.
And I love that.
She wants like a third-party, unbiased opinion.
I absolutely love it.
Every girl needs that.
Yeah.
Every girl needs a third-party, unbiased opinion.
Yeah,
on
and
things.
someone that loves you and cares about you, and will be honest with you.
Yeah.
And, so I'm very lucky that I have that with her.
She's
and I
very
really
lucky
enjoy
too.
it. Well, Rick's been out of town. He had to go to the Deer Lease for work. Don't even ask. Like, his job is very hard. And so last night he wasn't there, and we didn't know he was going to be gone originally. So I was making his meal of the night, which is once a week I make a really country meal because that's what he loves. So I'm smothered pork chop, mashed potato, old school in it, And so I was like, Madison, come over because I already got the pork is already in the fridge. Like, this is what we're having. So come over. I'm making a big dinner. She was like, all right. She comes over, and so it's Zoe, Madison, and I. But Zoe's playing video games, so he's really occasionally throwing something in on the conversation, random. But it's really us girls. And we are just having the best girl talk, the three of us. So it's me, and I'm 49, and then it's my daughter, who's 27, and then it's my stepdaughter, that's 20. So it's a pretty big life experience, age difference going on in the situation. The conversation was so good. And so Rick calls me last night, and, of course Rick's going to ask me when he calls for bedtime, you running the road? Yeah, running the road.
You out in them streets?
And I was actually, no, I'm putting clothes in the washer, and your daughter just left. He was like, what's she doing there that late? I said, because you weren't here. So we were having a girls' night, and we were just talking and visiting and having a great night. And he was like, yeah, always do. And I was like, yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Doing what we do.
Yeah, we got to pass that wealth of knowledge on.
Yes.
Every stripe I've got on my face, whether it be or my body, whether it be a wrinkle or a stretch mark or a scar, every one of them I earned. It's like a badge of honor. And, I want to prepare these other girls for these badges.
Yeah.
Because we're all going to get them. Maybe different ones, but we're all going to get them.
Amen.
Amen. Well, that's all for today. Thank you for joining us. Maybe come back next week and bring a friend.
Yeah. And remember, there's always 3 sides to every story.
2 sides and the truth.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.